Hey everybody, welcome to the Mile High Game Guys board gaming podcast. And as you can see, Adrian's not here, but I am Zach.
And I'm Jeff.
And I'm Wes.
Hello, Wes. And as always, we are brought to you by, at least this episode, Gray Fox Games.
Indeed. See, you remember it on the first recording try. Adrian's usually like 3 in before he can remember the name of our sponsor.
It's pretty bad.
And they keep sponsoring you?
Well, they paid us all up front, so no matter how bad we do now on the sponsorship deal, we got their money.
It's just all regret.
Yes. But we're joined by Wes. You've been on the show at least twice before.
Yeah, a couple of times.
Yeah. We'll bring you on at least once a year.
Yes.
See, and now this is your 3rd year on, technically. I guess we're getting close to that second anniversary.
We're getting close to the second one.
I think this might be my 4th time on. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we'll see you in 2 years.
Yeah.
This is not amateur hour.
No.
No,
Adrian's not here.
No.
Now the professionals are working.
He's off in the Tetons.
Yes.
With his girlfriend, Megan.
Yeah.
And then he will be off to Origins.
He pretty much gets here either Tuesday night or Wednesday morning and then immediately leaves for Origin on Wednesday.
To the wonderful world of Columbus, Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Where he's going to be at the Deep
Water Games.
Deep Water Games.
Yeah.
I was thinking Cthulhu for a second. Those are deep ones. But he'll be at the Deep Water booth.
Yes, he will.
Demoing games or something. And probably disappointing them as much as he disappoints us. We still got to rip into him.
Yeah, no, it's just even more fun when he's not here.
Yes.
And he's not here to, like... It's less fun, though, because he's not here to also agree with us.
Yes. So I will say, when I was trying to figure out who to have on as a guest, because obviously we can't just do it as 2 people. That would just feel weird.
Yeah, there'd just be silence.
Yeah. But
as we wait for someone else to start talking.
But I know when we were talking about, it's like, if we ever had people be replaced by us on the podcast, Adrian's was Paul.
Yeah.
And I was like, I thought about it, but I was like, no, I want Paul here with Adrian, so Paul just drives him absolutely insane.
Yeah, they'd have to be in the same room.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes. The same tiny recording space with the bed up against the wall.
Yeah.
It's got a blanket on it, I guess.
It does.
I don't know why.
Because it's classy.
Okay.
How else are you going to hold yourself on while you sleep?
So what you been doing, Wes, this weekend /
how's the architecture going?
Yeah.
Oh, so
much.
much.
Architecting?
Still architecting.
Did you get that house moved months ago?
Yeah. No, it's got slid over by like 40 feet or whatever, and it's hanging out about 10 feet off the ground, waiting for them to pour a parking garage underneath it so they can move it back.
That's
pretty
so
exciting.
weird.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, there you go.
Fun.
Was it fun?
It was pretty cool to watch, yeah.
Did you have to
We didn't ask if it was cool. We asked if it was fun.
No.
Yeah.
Then what's the point?
Yeah, what's the point?
How many letters do you have at the end of your business card now? He's counting.
At least like 10. At least 10.
At least
maybe
10
12.
letters. Wow. All right. Someone actually, I think at some point, someone wrote to us and explained what all of those letters were.
Yes, Patrick did.
Yes.
I just counted 16 if you count a plus sign.
There's letters and symbols. I'm sure whatever that plus is, it's very meaningful to your...
I mean, he did a good job.
Yeah.
If he did a bad job, he'd be a minus.
He got it from the president of architecture. Yeah. If everyone doesn't know, because Wes hasn't been on in a while, Wes is an architect of some sort.
Yeah.
The environmental architect.
You're an official architect now.
Yes, I am officially an architect as of like a year ago.
Yes.
Okay.
Before he was pretending. He was illegally architecting.
Yeah.
No, because they take that seriously.
Yeah,
I did not say I was an architect until I got my license.
Right.
Okay.
What did you say you were again?
It was vague. I was an architectural designer or project coordinator or some other bullshit, not a title.
Okay.
Gotcha. Okay.
So you and Weird Al, architects.
Yes.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. He was a architect that couldn't find a job, and then he tried to get a job at the post office, and they said he was overqualified, and his response was, "I'm not overqualified to eat." Because that's what I need this job for.
Fair enough.
Yeah. That's your fun Weird Al fact about architecture.
Yeah, I did not know that.
Yeah.
What about you, Jeff?
Settling in the new place.
Okay, that's right. Yeah.
I played games last week on multiple different occasions.
I made sure of that. Yes.
Yes. What else have I been doing? I went to a drag show on Friday.
Is that where you got really drunk?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Nice.
it was.
Was it I know some places here do like drag bingo. Was it one of that?
No,
or
this was a full stage performance.
Nice.
It was the nicest drag show I've ever been to.
The new French bar on Pearl Street does drag brunch.
Oh.
Okay.
Like every Sunday or something.
Okay. So I had 2 beers at work, and then I was just gonna go home. And then I was talking to our tap room overlord, and he used to be the tap room manager. Now he's the overlord of tap rooms because he runs the tap rooms across the company now: Salt Lake, Denver, and Santa Barbara. And we were just chit chatting, and he was talking about Odell. Odell just opened up their tap room in Rhino, like on the opposite block from us.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
it's right around the corner. I was like, oh, I'll bring them some beer, have a beer over there, see what their new space is. Their new space is phenomenal. Like a first level bar, first level patio, and then a second floor bar and a and then like a outdoor rooftop patio up there. It's very fancy.
Super cool.
Nice.
So, and someone showed me their like brew area in the back, and I was like, this is very nice for what tiny space you have. It was like, holy crap. So then I was going to go back and then just go home. And as I walked back across Epic, Ant and our other friend Andrew, who started the original game night, like swing the door open at me and just like are standing there. And I was like, well, now I have to hang out with these people. Andrew had his like whole family in town, and that's where it really spiraled out of control. Went back to Odell. Then we went to Ratio. We were hanging out the back of Ratio, and then I realized there was a drag show about to start, and I was like, all right. And then everyone was into it, and we started watching it. They made the smart decision, went across the street to Finn's Manor and got the food trucks and food. I was still working off whatever I had at lunch that day, but the drinks sort of just took over, and to the point of where I was like, I'm just going to hang out here and watch the rest of this drag show. And that's what I did. And then I lifted home that evening.
How was the next day?
I was very, very hungover.
What?
I'm surprised.
I was like 10 plus beers in. That was definitely the most drunk I've been in a little while. It was quite the affair.
Well, there you go. That's
Indeed. That was the drag show. The drag show, great.
Okay. Nice.
A lot of lip syncing and dancing.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, tips. That's what they do at the drag shows.
Okay.
And the Ratio's like patio is colossal.
Yes,
it was totally full, and so they had people like around with pitchers, like getting tips from everyone. And then I played games. Have you been up to anything, Zach, that you want to talk about besides?
Yeah, tell us about your social escapades.
Went out on Saturday.
Yeah, Red Square.
Red Square.
That's right. You guys went to Red Square.
We got drinks, and then I smartly was like, I've drank enough.
Yeah.
Let's go to Biker Gyms.
After like 5 or 6 shots of vodka, I was like, this is going to get real bad real quick unless we go eat Biker Gyms.
Yep.
I totally forgot about that was happening at all.
Well, I'm pretty sure your liver was like, it was going to be like, no, you can't go.
It was also like,
yeah. No.
But I like hanging out and not drinking too. But also the power was out as soon as I got I had got up and gotten lunch with Bullshit Paul. And then when I got back, I was home for 30 minutes, and then the power was out for 5 hours.
Oh, fuck that.
Yeah. So thankfully I had a bit of a hangover nap in me. So I got a little bit of the power outage, you know.
That also happened to somebody else that I know. Power outage. They must live near you.
Yeah. If it's the north side of City Park, there was about 1,000 people without power.
Sounds about right.
Indeed. When I asked you about lift riders, all I could think about was laser riders.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, that'd be cool.
Yes, it would. But unfortunately not. I can't be a
shark surfing across
or a haunted cosmonaut.
Surfing across space.
Yep. But why don't we just go ahead and get into those games?
Yeah, see? That was a segue. Laser riders.
There is not a segue in laser riders yet.
Yeah, it was the 80s. They hadn't been invented.
Yeah. That's true. That's very true. Who wants to start about the board games?
Why don't you, since you were already talking?
Sure.
But then you were talking.
Nope, it's too late.
I played the Blood Bowl, which
we'll get to later.
Yeah,
I know you.
No spoilers.
Yeah.
Yep. And
that's why I also didn't. I was quote unquote hesitant to bring Ann on because I was like, oh shit, 2 people talking about Blood Bowl versus me. And I was like, it's gonna get.
We're just gonna be like, fuck off, Zach. You can do the news and Kickstarter by yourself.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about Blood Bowl for 45 minutes, and then we're just gonna leave.
That did occur in the back of my mind. Yeah.
I guarantee that was what happened. This weekend, on Sunday, I had a whole 24 hours of hangover recovery, and then we went with Ant's girlfriend Julie, and Bullshit Paul, and myself went up to Fort Collins for a game day thing.
Did anybody else go that was from Denver?
Lance was up there because he was on his way back from camping or hiking or outdoorsy objectives, and just was going through Fort Collins, and so he stopped by as well. But otherwise, totally new people to me. There was at least 3 Epic employees there.
Okay.
Because one
you,
Ant,
and
then John the vegan.
Oh, okay.
He's one of the.
He's like, Julie got hired.
Yeah. He's like the second employee of Epic.
Oh, okay.
But
he's Ant's first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Like for the Denver location.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he lives up there and was like commuting back and forth. So
that's a commute.
He's like super part-time down in in the Denver location.
Does he just do like 1 24-hour shift?
They work 12s, so
okay.
Yeah. So we got up there. Paul brought pirate billiards and catacombs, another very large box that was slightly smaller.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think we ever broke it out. Maybe it was just the box for catacombs. I don't know. But we also brought This War of Mine and Black Orchestra, which were our favorite games from Geekway.
Yes, they were.
So we were going to start off with Black Orchestra. We had only one new player. Actually, we played with Lance, Bullshit Paul, and myself. Lance had played out with us in Geekway.
Yes, he did.
So Julie was the only new player. So we were able to teach her the rules fairly easily.
Do you know what the game is at all?
I'm vaguely familiar.
Okay.
I need to get a chance to play it.
Okay.
So it's late 30s through. It's the rise and fall of Hitler is the timeline, and you are all of the non-fiction conspirators or non-fictional, like actual historically like conspirators trying to kill Hitler throughout like before and during World War II.
Like one of the characters you can be is the one that Tom Cruise was in Valkyrie with the eye patch.
You get to be Tom Cruise.
Yes.
Nice. Julie was Tom Cruise, but she did not get the reference, unfortunately. So since we had played a little bit before, we knew to kind of spread out our genres of roles. Like you can be the military intelligence, or civilians. And there's a couple different roles in each of those. And it's like the whole map of Europe, and there's 7 acts, and those 7 acts are sort of like the timeline of the war. And you're trying to get your, like, how committed you are to a plot against Hitler while trying to keep your suspicion low, because there could be a Gestapo raid and you could get arrested. The game starts off with all of us in Berlin and just trying to find items and stuff like that. We were doing pretty well. We got some plots pretty early on because they're just kind of in a random deck. We ended up getting the poison food one fairly early that a civilian can do with like some bonus rolls. So, and I was the civilian character. I was also the civilian character that got the like roll bonus for like at the beginning of my turn, just draw 3 cards, and I have like a huge hand size.
Oh yeah.
So I was able to get through the deck pretty quick to try and find some assists to kill Hitler. And then we went across Europe trying to find poison. Because you can stack the poisons. Every poison you get adds another die, and it's basically a 5 or a 6 is a success, and depending on Hitler's military strength, you have to get equal to or greater than that strength. So we had a ton of bonuses and stuff like that. We ended up rolling 7 dice on the plot. It was our first plot attempt. You have to like not roll any 1s, basically. The more 1s you get depends on your suspicion. Like if you're at high suspicion, you only need 1 to arrest you and your plot fails, but if you have a low suspicion, you need like 3. It's like no one knows you're gonna poison the shit out of Hitler.
Here, have some food. Pay no attention to this eyedropper. I'm going to squirt on it right before I give it to you.
Sometimes that's kind of exactly what happens.
Mm-hmm.
We did also play with a rule that I had seen online that was pretty popular. It was a house rule variant that if there are other conspirators in the same spot as you when you attempt the plot, any of those items that can be stacked, like that have an asterisk on it, any that they have can also be used towards the plot, because there's like 3 of each item. So, and you only have 3 item slots.
So it's really hard to get them to other people. And if they do, that's all they can really hold.
Yes. So you want to maximize it as much as possible, especially because you need like an intel and a poison, but you need you can have 4, but you can only hold 3, so you can kind of have a little helper there with you. And then I had all the dice in my hand. Ant went to the bathroom, so I waited for him to come back out and blow on the dice because we all know Ant can't roll a 50-50, but he can get a 33% chance. So I had him blow on the dice because that's what we needed. And lo and behold, 3 targets on there, and we poisoned and killed the shit out of Hitler.
On your first try.
On our first try. It was in Act 3.
Oh,
so
that's still pretty far.
It was pretty early.
Oh, yeah, early, because it's
7 acts. Yeah, so like the invasion of Poland had just happened in the timeline.
Yeah.
So the invasion of Poland happened, and then we murdered Hitler.
I'm a little upset that they're called acts, but it's like orchestra. They should be like movements or something. I think more symphonic.
There might be another word for the cards, but I don't remember what they were off the top of my head.
Right. Still as good as you remember.
Oh yeah, still fantastic. We got pretty lucky on the card draws. We had like 2 turns where we were able to skip drawing any act cards because this is right where Hitler's military strength starts shooting through the roof.
Yeah, it goes really high.
But you only get those from the act cards, really. And then we got very lucky on our conspire rolls, which you roll like a dice per action, and you can get bonus actions or I don't know, you need 3 of the target dice, and then you can raise someone's motivation or lower Hitler's military strength. And like it was like turn of like getting a bunch of lowering Hitler's military strength back to its starting level to where at like the beginning of my turn it was at like 7. So we were able to really just pump that right down.
Good.
Yeah. We got pretty lucky. But Hitler is dead.
Hooray!
Hooray!
Yeah. Everyone should be excited about that in this fictional board game timeline where the invasion of Poland happened, but Hitler then died.
So what happens in the fictional board game timelines when they're over and you close the box? What happens to those people, Jeff?
Someone's going to have to make make a movie like Jumanji, except it's plots to assassinate Hitler.
And it's super depressing.
Yeah. It's like Shawshank Redemption meets Schindler's List meets Jumanji.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yep. There we go.
All right, Wes, what about you? What have you been playing?
Oh, well, while Jeff was up in Fort Collins killing Hitler, I was at a barbecue at Jenna's place, and we played a game called Code 777, which is like, it was the 20th anniversary edition, so apparently a really old game that I'd never heard of. But it's like a reverse Hanabi, or no, not reverse Hanabi. Hanabi's like a reverse regular cards.
I mean, literally, yes.
You get to see all of your own cards?
It's a competitive Hanabi. So you've got like 3 tiles.
To be fair, some people have tried that.
Yes, they have. That is a really funny
BGG post.
No, it was a Reddit thread.
Oh, was it a Reddit thread?
Yeah,
okay.
Yes, it was. Yeah,
right. Yeah, it was really funny to read too.
1985 is the first edition of Code 777. So
even more than maybe it was the 30th anniversary edition. I don't know. But anyway, so you've got it's like little domino tiles that all have numbers on them, and there's like 1 1 and 2 2s and 3 3s and all that, all the way up to 7.
Mm-hmm.
And
it was the 30th anniversary, which came out in 2015, it looks like.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So then each number has a different color. So like all the 1s are green, all the 2s are yellow. But then towards the end where there's a lot more of them, like there's 3 different colors of 7 or something. So, and you shuffle all the tiles up and you take 3. And you can only see everybody else's tiles. And then you'll be drawing from a stack of cards that asks a question like, I can only see how many are more greens than blacks or something like that. And you have to give a clue to everybody else. And you're trying to figure out what your own tiles are based on that. And then...
So everybody's giving out clues to everybody and you're
right.
sort of taking that. Okay.
So you get a clue and say, I can see, or you have to read it and say, I can see more 7s than 5s. And you'll say, well, no, I can't. I cannot see more 7s than 5s. And so then everybody else will look around at what you can see. And
can you see everybody but yours?
Right. Okay. So you can see everybody but yours. So they'll look around at everything that you can see plus yours because they can see it. Mm-hmm. And that gives them information about what they have.
Right.
And then the first person to correctly guess all 3 of their tiles gets a point.
Okay. And is that number and color?
No.
Okay.
Which is important because if you know that you have a 7, but you're not sure what color it is, you can just guess 7.
Okay. Do you get more points if you say I have the pink 7? And
you don't.
Okay.
So, but you do get to, if you guess correctly, look at them. So that might be important what the colors are because we were playing with 5 people and each person had 3 tiles. So that's 15 tiles. But then there was, I think, what does that add up to? 10, 16, and 7 makes 23.
Yeah.
So there's 23 tiles total and only 15 out of players. So then the rest 8 in the middle. And then so once you get it, you guess either right or wrong, your tiles go into a little discard pile and you draw 3 new ones.
Oh, okay.
And then once the discard pile once the draw pile is out, then the discards get shuffled in. And now all of your deductive reasoning is out the window because those discards got shuffled back in.
Okay.
So it's an interesting deductive game, but also a really interesting timing game of when do I just guess, even if I'm wrong, so that I can shuffle my new cards up and have a good chance based on not having to double guess things that I thought I already knew.
Right, that makes sense. How do you win?
By guessing correctly 3 times.
Okay, there we go. So first to 3 points?
First to 3
Okay.
points.
And you just don't get any points if you guess wrong.
Right. And if you guess wrong, you don't get to look at your tiles. So you don't get to know what they actually were, and they get shuffled in, and you're
you
super
discard them.
fucked
You
for the next
discard
round.
them if you got it wrong.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, if you guess wrong out of the gate, you're just like totally fucked.
Gotcha. Okay.
That happened to Matt on the first round we played. He guessed totally wrong the first time and just never got any points after that because he was always super behind in what he thought he had because everything kept getting reshuffled before he could guess. And then in the second game, he kicked our ass. He got to 3 before anybody else had 1, or before anybody else had 2.
Okay. That's cool.
I see Greg and his brother Kyle playing that a lot at game nights.
Yeah, they're the ones that brought it.
That
Okay.
sounds about right.
That's, all right. That's probably why it was there then.
Yep. Yeah, no,
I
it was super fun. I'm glad they brought it.
I
Oh, and
think-
we played tons of Mario Kart. I kicked ass at Mario Kart.
Yeah. Which Mario Kart?
8. Well, 8 for
Wii U?
for Switch.
Switch. 8
Nice.
Deluxe.
8 Deluxe.
I like that one.
Yeah, but we were playing on Jenna's kid's profile, and he didn't have my cart unlocked, and I was super pissed that I kept the first couple of races. I was like, oh man, I'm taking corners really slow. It's because he didn't have any carts unlocked, and I still kicked ass though.
No, nice. I was always a fan of the bikes.
Jenna, doesn't your child play more video games? Damn
Right?
it.
Why doesn't he have 3 stars on all of the cups like me?
We just call him a noob and just like throw it in his face.
Yeah, yes. Let's do that to the small child.
Yep, it sounds about right.
I mean, we got to teach him the gaming environment early, right?
This is true.
Well,
Super toxic.
let him know the toxicity
Yes.
at an early age.
Yes.
You were mentioning that the win condition of code 777. I hope everyone knows the one in Black Orchestra. It's kill Hitler.
I missed that actually.
Oh.
You got to the end and you said you killed Hitler. I was like, okay, well now what?
Yeah.
And then you were done. I was like, but so did you win?
Yes.
Now I know.
It was
that
the first
they
time I
did.
won ever.
I haven't played that game. I didn't know the win condition.
When Hitler when Hitler dies of our accord. Zach,
Yes.
you have to talk about games now.
I guess I do now. Yeah.
Mhm.
So on Wednesday when we were at D-Bolt, while you were playing Blood Bowl, Paul had me get one of his bullshit dexterity games. It was called Hamsterrolle. It's German, shocking, and basically it's pretty much just suspend but in a circle instead of on a pole. Because you have a giant wheel that has a bunch of like wooden spokes in it.
It's like a 1.5 feet across.
Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
And everybody has these.
Let's call it half a meter
Sure.
since it's German.
Yeah. All right. and that's where Hitler was from.
Yeah.
See,
It all
bringing
comes
it
around.
all back
It
around.
comes around.
Oh, wasn't he from
Like a
Austria?
circle.
But anyway, it has a bunch of spokes in it, and you're basically trying to balance pieces inside the spokes. So if
Of a variety of different
Yes.
shapes and size. They looked like I was in the middle of Blood Bowl, but I kept looking over to be like, what the fuck is
Yeah.
going on over?
because some of them are really small. There's a yellow piece that's pretty big, and then there's also one cone that is sort of like the starting mark. And you basically choose which way it's going to roll, and then it only rolls that way from now on. And so say you have that put a piece, either that section, the one next to it, or the one 2 away from it. And once you put one in the section 2 away, then the next player can only put it from that section or 1 away, 1 further on that one or 2 further on that one. And so it gets like, Wes, I know you played that with us.
I did play it also, yeah.
It gets really fucky really quickly.
Yeah,
Fucky's a good word.
Yeah,
it
because
is.
the spokes are all made of wood, so there's not much friction on there, and so you can easily screw somebody over.
Like highly lacquered wood.
Yeah. We were playing with one house rule where if you say you put the yellow block in this section, you can't put another yellow block in that section, so you can try and block some people, especially if they're getting close to winning, to make them have to do riskier things. But if at any point on your turn when the wheel rolls, because it's you're putting weight on part of the wheel, gravity is like, oh, we're going to make it rotate this way. If any time one of the pieces falls off, it's yours, like suspend.
Right. And all the older pieces are getting further up the wheel on the opposite side.
Yep.
And of course are going to fall.
But they also are causing it to be heavy, bottom heavy, and on that high, so it's harder to get them to fall. But once they fall, you can create a chain reaction of everything moving forward very quickly. And I thought it was a lot of fun. I liked it.
I really liked it, and
I think I agreed with you. I might like Suspend a bit more, but it was nice to have the change of pace.
yeah,
And this definitely created some moments where you're like, because it's nice that you can, if you put it on a section that you know it's not going to stick, if it falls but it still lands inside the circle, you're okay. So literally 1 or 2 times when we were trying to win, we're just like, well, I'm going to put it here. It's going to fall. I just hope that it stays inside that circle.
I like the variety of pieces in it because like different shapes are great because they can take up different positions.
Mm-hmm.
And so you might want a longer one or a shorter one, but then they also have different weights because they're different sizes. And so maybe you need a heavy one. And so it forces some pretty interesting decisions, unlike in Suspend, where the different shapes are just a little bit longer and a little bit heavier, and they're essentially the same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, I was a big fan of that one. I know we ended up playing it 4 times. I think I won 3 of those, and then you won 1, Wes. So
I did only play 1.
Yes.
So I have a 100% record
mm-hmm.
to Zach's 75%.
Yeah, to Paul's 0%.
Sucker. It seems like you need a long enough table to play it on because it does move.
It does move, and the rules do say that you can move. Like, so basically, what we're doing is after it would, rotate like a couple feet, we would basically just pick it and sort of slide it back to the other end of the table, and then if something fell, then you would just put it back on there.
Okay.
So unlike Suspend, where you have that die that signifies whether it's your turn or not your turn, this one, it's like, it's sort of wishy-washy after you put a piece on there. If it stays for a second or two, is it still your turn?
Because you get to choose which piece you use, as opposed to having the die determine it.
Yeah, and so what they in this game is call it the hand of God, that if a piece falls off, like when no one's actively involved with the circle, you put it to the side, and next time someone has to pick up a piece, they also pick up those.
Okay.
So
that's interesting.
Yeah. Also, I'll give you a pro tip that Laura learned, is that if one piece falls down, don't reactively hit the entire wheel, causing it to spin to its side and cause 7 more pieces to fall out.
Don't try and catch it.
Yeah.
Is basically. All right.
You cannot save it.
No, it was.
You can only make it worse.
It was hilarious.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But that wasn't the only thing that I played, because there was something that all 3 of us actually played.
Indeed.
What?
I was getting tired of not playing this after buying this game months and months ago, and I was like, sorry, Adrian, but Thursday is the time to play Legacy of Dragonholt. Dragonholt. This is a cooperative storytelling game from Fantasy Flight, and it takes place in the Terrinoth universe.
The Runebound universe.
Yeah, but it's
Terrinoth is the name of it.
Yes.
It's like calling World of Warcraft, like, takes place in the Azeroth universe.
Yes.
As opposed to the world of Warcraft.
Yes.
Yeah. I try to describe it to people as like, Gloomhaven is like the DM less D&D, but from the combat perspective. This is sort of DM less D&D, but from more storytelling perspective.
There was a reason this didn't have a BGG listing for a little while.
Yeah, for the longest time, it was just an RPG geek, and it was really annoying people. Yeah.
Role-playing game geek? Do they spell out the whole website?
No, I think they'd be RPG geek.
Okay.
RPGG?
Yes. Yeah. And so on this one, everybody, like, it plays 1 to 6 players, but it's really a fully cooperative game, because there isn't any like hidden information or anything like that as far as we know. But what happens is that you have, it's sort of a choose your own adventure. You read this series, or you read these paragraphs, then it's like, hey, do you want to do one of these 3 or 4 things? Sometimes they require skills. Sometimes it's just like, do you want to learn more about this person, or do you want to, try and teach them something or something like that? And when you're playing with more than 1 player, everybody has this token, which is basically an activation token, and only 1 person can activate at a time, and then you can't activate again. So you basically can't make a choice until everybody else has made a choice. And I thought that worked pretty well, and it felt sort of like, for the amount of players that we had 3 players. We had, so Wes, what was your character again? You were Steve
Holt.
Yeah. You were a human knight or something similar to that.
Yep.
Yeah. And then Wes was that. So Jeff.
Yes. Correct.
Yeah. Jeff, you were an orc.
I was an orc brawler.
Mm-hmm.
I was an ex Gore Basin player. which was is a sport that I made up in that universe, and then you could choose skills for your
Yes.
characters based off what their race and profession is.
Mhm.
And I chose all the ones that have to do with like it was like athleticism and endurance and like dueling
Right.
and stuff that would make sense.
Yeah, and you were sort of the same way.
Yep.
And you were you did not choose anything that made a character seem smart or
Yeah, it kind
like
of
you were
sucked.
super trusting and
There was so many things that you could choose from for being human. And I was like, none of these make any sense for Steve Holt.
But except for the like you ended up with empathy and then athleticism or something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah. And then I was a half cat bard who, because my backstory was like parents got killed and then so got basically a oh god, what are they called? Someone who adopts, like foster. There we go.
Foster parents.
I was going to say
Foster-
adopted?
Yeah. I had a foster parent who didn't like that I was a cat, so she forcibly declawed me. And so, like, my character has bandage chains and, like, won't, basically, unless it's, like, jumping on things, like, with his own weight, he won't really do anything physical. And so I did Bard, and then I had a lot of, more streetwise sort of things, but a little bit of magic, and agility because he's a cat person. But what I really liked is, like, throughout the story, especially when we had combat come, we just had this nice thing of it was like, oh, does this, like, somebody stay guard? And, Jeff was like, oh, I'll do it because, it would make sense for he's our, our burly brawler dude.
I would keep watch
Yeah.
of the camp.
These robbers came up or whatever.
Bandits.
That's what they were. And it was like, do you want to sneak up behind him or charge at them? And you're like, of course I'm going to charge.
Yeah, that's not a choice. Yeah.
That's not a choice.
And we should mention in these choices, we'll reference the skills you've chosen at the beginning of the game. There's no like die rolling for stats or anything like that. You sort of just, it's pretty loose character creation. You just sort of have a list of things you can take and you just sort of take what makes sense to your character.
Yeah. And they say like, make your background and your personality as big or as little as you want just to help inform you for your decisions. That's where it was like one of the people we were talking with, it was like, do you want to learn more about these things? And I was like, I don't really care about what she's, and so I'll just teach her some bullshit thing.
It's like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But then you started fighting the bandits and you just like started ripping them to shreds.
I had all of the skills that I
Yeah.
needed to fight the bandits.
And then after that, there was another one where it was attack and it was like between me and Wes. And it was like, I'm not like, one guy started charging at people and it was like, do you want to, tackle them or do it? And I was like, my character wouldn't do that. And then
So I was like, well, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And then so the choice that I made, whatever the text, I don't remember what the choice was, but the text result was that I ended up like grabbing embers out of the fire and like smashing them into his face. But then I took damage because I grabbed embers with my hand.
which seems like something Steve,
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, and you burned yourself.
And then it came to my turn and the guy was coming. And so I was able to run away and like throw knives at him. And it just felt organic,
Yeah.
which I really liked.
Because it's got all the different choices of things to do, but you can only do the ones that your character has the skill for.
Mhm.
Or there's
And-
like a general one.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's like, so then if you build your character with skills that make sense for your character, you end up in situations that your character would be in.
Yes.
Mhm. And there's nothing like items or like armor or anything like that in the game.
No, I mean,
Well, we don't know. We don't know yet.
To be fair, there are item cards
There
that
are
we've
item
come
cards,
across.
but like they're fair. Like we found potions.
Yeah. Later, when we went to a shop and we spent a bunch of money, I guess it's a good time to talk about how the game tracks things like that.
Because it has time as a mechanic in this game.
Yes.
Where if you do things that take a certain amount of time, it's just like time. It says the mark that time passes.
Yeah.
And certain things are like, oh, you wanted to go here. I'm sorry, you took too long doing other shit. They're closed now.
Mhm.
Like or some shops like the inn was like, we don't open until late, so you have to come here late. Otherwise, we're not going to be open.
So go to the inn. Well, they're not open yet.
Yeah. So when we actually made it to the town, the first thing we did was like, let's check out a bunch of things. And there were so many things that was just like, it's not open yet. It's not open yet.
It was just the morning.
Yeah.
On the plus side, that didn't eat up any time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just nothing happens.
But like we went to the blacksmith and talked to the blacksmith and stuff, and then we were like, oh, let's buy some items. We had 100 gold or
Mhm.
something like that. And on the back of the town book, which is very dense,
Yeah.
it has little tracker sheets for like time of day or if certain events have happened or your like level of like training in certain things,
Yeah.
like the magic one or the fighting one. And really, we just spent a bunch of money, and it made the fighting training one go up more.
Yes. Something else that it has too is that like various choices that you make will be like mark out the box that says N3 or anything like that.
Yeah.
And so a different thing later on will be like, hey, we had this thing happen. Did you mark out N3? If so, follow this. Otherwise, do this. So it takes
Mhm.
into account choices that you made previously. Like we were talking with one person about their background, and then when it came back another time later to be able to talk to them about their background, because we already did that, it didn't give that as an option for us.
Yeah.
But we finished the first adventure, then we got to town.
The intro,
the intro one,
it's you're on the road in the woods to the town,
Mm-hmm.
and then you get to the town, and that's really where the game becomes the game.
Yes.
We played the tutorial.
Yes.
But I don't know about you guys, but I definitely enjoyed our time playing. The writing was really good. And
Oh, yeah, it was really well written.
Yeah.
A lot of people have compared this to Tales of Arabian Nights, but this is a much more cohesive story.
Yes.
I don't know, 1,000,000,000% more cohesive.
Now, obviously, you don't get the random weird shit that makes Tales work.
Yes.
But it is definitely like this needed to be a cohesive, well-written story, and it is.
I think that's what I like about it is the way that the different choices bleed into each other, and if you have done this, then you get this choice instead of that choice, and that it does feel like an actual narrated campaign experience where there is a DM behind the screen taking into account what you've done and what your characters would be presented with.
Yeah. Since you've DM'd a lot
Yes.
in general.
I
Probably more than any of us.
am a semi-professional DM in the fact that I just spend all of my time doing that.
And so then there's this huge town book, and then there's a bunch of adventure books in there that seem they're about the same length of that like tutorial, or probably longer.
Yeah.
And then this is they call it the Oracle system for this game that Fantasy Flight came up with. So maybe there's going to be more down the road if
It's
this
a
is
knockoff of Fate system. They need to be more creative with their nouns.
Yes, they do. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to us playing.
Mhm.
We could just add, like, it seems like it'd be something easy enough to add another.
Yeah, I see no
person to.
reason why you couldn't add people or take
No.
people out if
Yeah.
they can't make it or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, and something we didn't really touch on. We didn't really have an objective. Like a lot of the first part of the town that you go through is people just asking you like, "Hey, what are you here for?" Because you can sort of form like what you're there for
Mhm.
based on, because it gives you a bunch of different options.
Yeah, we had a basic goal that they kind of set you up with
Mhm.
this letter that you get from an old friend of yours, and that's why you're coming into town. But that's never an option to
Yeah.
talk about. So it's like, so what's the fake reason you're going to give to these people? Because that will come back and bite you in the ass later.
Yeah. I think we pulled off vengeance
Yes.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, it was my character. Yeah, we were
through a performance
Yes,
skill.
yeah.
Yeah, I liked that one.
Yeah. But like we said, it was really, really well written, and I'm looking forward to continuing these adventures. I'm curious to see if I did it again, like how much of it would be similar versus.
Each
Yeah.
option has like at least 3 choices
Yeah.
that we've seen, so it depends if those same choices happen again.
Yeah. Well, it's whenever you have anything that has branching stories like this, you're curious to see how different they actually are, or
Where they kind of meet back up
Yes,
after
yeah.
the
Yeah.
different little story bits, and
Yeah.
then they have to meet back up somewhere.
Yeah. And I would definitely assume that the tutorial would not be as far branching as some other ones could be.
No,
But
all kind of the events in between.
yeah.
Especially when Steve Holt like immediately flips over his choice and is like, "Let's take forever clearing these branches."
Yeah,
You got to be nice and clear out the road for the next people to come by.
Yeah. That was also one thing that we made, or a little house rule that we made, was that because usually it's like everybody sort of decides together and then one person.
It's cooperative.
It's cooperative, but we were just like, if one person is like really wants to do something, if they have an active thing and they can flip it over, they're making a choice and they get to choose what it is. So
There was a tree blocking the road,
Yeah.
and Steve Holt would spend the time to chop up that tree and move it out of the way and be a nice, responsible citizen for all of the other people trying to get into Dragonholt.
and
And it ate up a lot of
it ate
time.
a lot of time, and every time we were like, oh look, we ran out of time for this little thing. How interesting, Steve Holt. It's weird how we spent all that fucking time clearing the tree branches instead of doing interesting things. But yeah, I really liked it.
As did I. Looking forward to more.
Yeah, me too.
Well, I think that is enough I think we've talked enough about regular games.
Yes.
How about we get into that bowl of blood?
I think the Gore Basin.
Yes.
The Gore. The Gore Basin happened this last Wednesday at the D-Bolt. This was my last match of the season. I'm sorry. Yes, before playoffs. Yep. Regular season. Last match of the regular season. It was the War Bosses versus the Horkins Hawks, Dark Elves on Orcs. It was Steve was playing the Horkins Hawks. First time I've played against him. I think he's been in some of the other divisions previously. I came into this game with 10K team value difference. So we were like neck and neck. He ended up kicking the ball to me. The ball went towards the line of scrimmage, landed about 2 squares back. The kickoff event was a blitz, which means he gets a free turn for everyone that's not in a tackle zone, which was only 3 of his guys because I was going to get the first turn. So the other 8 guys got to move and do stuff, and that's bad for me because he has really high agility and he can go in between my dudes on pretty nice die rolls. He has an agility 5 blitzer. That means if he's tackling into a tackle zone, or he still has a 2+ on there because it's only
ridiculous.
It's only a -1 to the die roll because he's technically a 1+, and then it becomes a 2+, and then it was rough.
You can never have a 1+ in the game.
You can't. A 1 always fails, but the modifier is where it sits. So he's technically a 1+. So with his blitz, he was able to get his agility 5 guy underneath the ball, which he then caught on the blitz in turn 0.
Well then,
great kickoff.
Yeah, great, super. But thankfully, with my super strong bashy orc team, that leaves his. I mean, he has block but no dodge, so I can't get them both down. But I have block, so I won't go down. So I'm gonna go smash the shit out of that guy. I end up getting the ball out of his hands because I do have strip ball on my team, and grab the ball and start marching down the field ever so slowly as I do as the orcs. I continue to bash the crap out of his team over and over and over the first half and end up getting nothing but stuns. I need to roll a 10, 11, or 12 on 2d6 for a casualty. I end up rolling, I think it's not. I think I got like 6 armor breaks in the first half, and I think I got 1 or 2 KOs, and like the rest are stuns, which sucks because his armor's only 8. Some of his guys only have armor 7. That's as much armor as a goblin in this game. So I can't bash anything. However, he, with none of my bashy ability, is able to outbash the crap out of me.
That doesn't seem right.
No, it doesn't.
And yet that happens.
Indeed, it is what happened. So I end up losing like 2 guys to KOs. Like some of my high strength, like black orcs and stuff, get knocked out of the game. Basically, everything that he broke turned into a KO. Thankfully, I didn't take any casualties. Now, we get towards the end of the first half. He ends up getting the ball out of my hands. The ball bounces around a lot. As I have recently learned, if the ball bounces, I'm not getting it. It's going to bounce somewhere near them. He is able to pull off a score somewhere around turn 6 of the half, which sucks because I received and then he scored on me. For our weather of the game, however, much like the weather was in Denver last week, we rolled sweltering heat. That's a double snake eyes on the weather roll. That means
you've gotten that a lot.
I've gotten that in the last 2 of 3 games. We've had sweltering heat. So at the end of a drive, so anytime anyone scores or the end of a half, you take everyone that was left on the pitch, and on a 1, they go into the reserve box for the next drive. So if you have 11 people on, you're losing at like maybe 2 people, and it's totally random. That screwed both of us for the rest of the game, because I was losing my troll, I was losing my strength 5 black orc, I was losing this strength 4 black orc, and he was losing like a lineman or his like crazy thrower guy and like the guy that really moved the ball. So he was down on all that kind of stuff. So me going into this game to make the playoffs, to seal the playoffs, I needed to win or draw. And during the second half, I end up coming back and scoring, giving him 3 turns to score, thankfully, which Dark Elves can do very easily. So I bashed him some more. I continued to have no casualties whatsoever. He also continued to knock out my guys, but no casualties taken, thankfully. The ball thankfully lands right next to a wall of orcs. I have 3 orcs. The ball's right next to the one in the middle, and then I line up 1 orc in front of that one. In hindsight, I should have moved him 1 square to the left. That way, if he got hit off, he wouldn't be a tackle zone on there, but it would cause a dodge. If he didn't get, knocked, dead, which probably would have happened. So he, at this point, has no rerolls left. He only has 2 rerolls. I had like 4 because I just failed over and over again on just shit I couldn't do anything about. It's tied 1-1. He needs to roll 2+, 2+, 6, 2+, 2+, 2+, 2+.
I like those odds.
I liked those odds too. He basically needed a 6 because he needed to go for it twice. He needed to pick up the ball in 4 tackle zones, and then he needed to pass the ball. Normally, you would be -4 to the pass because of all the tackle zones, but he has Nerves of Steel. He ignores tackle zones for passes. Able to pass. I had a chance to roll a 6 for an interception, which I did not get. His Witch caught the ball on the 2+, and then had 2 go for it for his 2-1 win against me in the very end of the game. Game ended 2-1, 0 casualties for either side, and that left me open to be knocked out of the playoffs by David's Rodamals, who, because so we were going to be going to the 3rd tiebreaker on the 4th slot for the 4th seed, which was casualty differential. If I had gotten just any amount of casualties, that would have just he has to win and he has to get this many casualties. But because I couldn't hit anything this game,
which is what your team does.
Which is what my team does.
You were the highest team value for doing that too.
Indeed. I think I'm tied and or number 1 across all teams that have ever played in this league for casualties. And in second place is my human team from the first 3 seasons.
He likes bashing people.
Yeah,
I can tell.
It's worked well until these last couple games where I just haven't been able to get anything. So David went into his game today / Monday, having to just win because he didn't need a casualty differential. Unless he won, but someone did 5 casualties against him, and then his casualty differential would go under mine, and I would beat him on that tiebreaker. So I watched, before I came to the podcast recording, I went and watched the first half of their game. The first half of the game ended with Andrew's, his opponent's team, Chaos Pact with 3 big guys, scoring 1-0 against David. Andrew had taken 1 casualty. In the middle of this podcast recording, I was given the rest of what had happened. David, on the first turn of the second half, casualtied all 3 characters of Andrew's team that were on the line.
Oh, Jesus.
Wow.
And
yeah.
then continued to casualty the rest of his team to where he only had 2 people on the field, and then came back from 0-1 to a 2-1 win.
He jeffed him.
With a 5 casualty differential positive.
Jeez.
So what you're telling me is you're not in the playoffs.
I am not in the playoffs. I have been hard eliminated.
Wow.
Nurgle scoring 2 1/2 can only really happen if you smash the shit out of them, which he was getting very unlucky on doing. He went ahead and turned that right around and fucked him up royally.
So that means that this was the last game of your orcs, right?
Yes, the orcs are done forever. I am retiring the orcs I was retiring the orcs at the end of this season. So that's it.
Yeah.
The War Bosses is gone.
So there's going to be no more postseason games for you?
I could play some postseason games, but I mean, I don't really need to because I'm not redrafting them. The redraft is going to hit hard, is what I'm saying. I'm not going to be able to get most of my team back.
And I liked how you said, I asked you about that, and you're like, even if you wanted to, who is going to fight against your team?
Yeah,
Nope.
when you don't have to, why
Yeah.
would you? Why
Yeah.
subject yourself to that
Yeah.
torture?
Nope. I'm gonna lose most of my skilled players is
Yeah.
what's gonna happen. But yeah, I'm gonna have a new team. Not sure exactly what yet. I'm leaning towards Lizardmen. But
Because
we
it's
will.
like half stunty, half
It's
strong guys.
6 strength 4, Edge 1, move 6, armor 9. A Croxagore, strength 5, move 6, Edge 1, armor 9, and then a bunch of skinks like move 7, strength 2, Edge 3, armor 7.
Yeah, I think the one time I played Blood Bowl, I played Lizardmen, and I think that I liked that team as far as a balance goes.
Yeah, the Saurus are really nice because they're really, really fast. Most high strength stuff are move 4, move 5.
Right, and so 6 is pretty nice.
Yeah.
6 is, but they have Edge 1 across the board.
So if anybody's next to them, they're like, well, I'm not moving now.
I'm not
just gonna-"
carrying the ball.
Yeah.
Unless they're catching it on a 6.
Right.
Because, or I guess a 5 technically would be at Edge 1. So the skinks are there to really move the ball around, or hope it gets a touchback and you just hand it to one of the Saurus.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, I'll be doing some preseason games of that after the playoffs. I might get some postseason orc runs in just to kind of feed the bloodlust. But
If you do, make that person regret it, Jeff. Make that person just be like, no, you are not. You should not have.
You should not have accepted
You should
this
not have
match,
accepted me. I'm going to destroy your soul in this game.
which can happen in the postseason.
Yes.
Preseason games for a new team are completely friendly.
Yeah.
It's like oven mitts games, but the postseason matches are full ass games with half winnings and no MVP. So it's sort of just kind of get that little boost in stats for your redraft.
Right.
So we'll see if anyone wants to.
Get wrecked.
So yeah,
that's the end of Bloody Minute for a while.
for a
at least.
for a little bit.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I mean, I'm sure you'll still fill us in.
Yeah,
on
keep us posted on the finals.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
playoffs. So we'll have some bloody playoffs coming up. So.
Mhm. Bloody Minute adjacent.
Yeah, there's a lot of real hard like trying to get into those last slot matches happening right
No,
now.
I'm sure, yeah.
I think each division has one of those right now, and there's 3 divisions.
All right.
Are all of the games done for this? Or are there still people trying to get into the playoffs?
There's still people trying to get in the
Okay.
playoffs, so it's still keeps on keeping on, even though I am done doing that.
Yes.
A shame.
Yeah,
Tisk tisk.
it was a game of opposites. The dark elves bashed and weren't able to throw the ball, and I scored once.
Yep. It seems like they were just too old and veteran. They're just too grizzled.
Yeah.
You were just 2 weeks away from retirement.
6 weeks away from
6,
retirement.
yeah.
Yeah.
And now they're just you have to wait for that time and then retire.
Yes. Yep.
All right. Well, I think it's now that we're done with that, I think it's time to move on to some news and Kickstarter. How's that sound, Jeff?
Indeed. On to the world of the news and the Kickstarter. First up in news, I didn't make the Blood Bowl playoffs. Second up in news.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw that at the top of BGG.
Yeah.
I think it might
Jeff
have
Jackson's War Bosses don't make
Yeah.
playoffs.
I think I saw a little blurb about it in Shut Up and Sit Down's weekly news thing.
Breaking news. This just in.
It just says Jeff's team doesn't make it. No context.
No context. Nothing.
First up in actual news, Fantasy Flight has announced Heroes of Terrinoth, which is the world of Runebound. We have solidified that in everyone's knowledge earlier.
Yes, we did.
And Dragonholt.
And Dragonholt. This is a cooperative card game of questing and adventure.
So if anybody remembers the game Warhammer Quest that Fantasy Flight did a little while ago,
I do not.
okay then. All right then. I guess we just move on.
All right.
But no. Once they lost the Warhammer license or the Games Workshop licenses, all those. Obviously, they're like, well, let's try and remake that game, but in our universe, and they've been doing that a lot. It seems.
Yeah, like Rune Wars was
Yes.
kind of like, this is sort of Warhammer Fantasy.
Mhm.
But this seems to be a Warhammer Quest new edition / reskin.
Yes.
It's probably closer to a new edition than anything. But if there's one thing I like, it's cooperative card games.
I agree.
That's what he likes.
And also that I like them.
Okay.
But I do agree that Jeff likes them.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. We're all in agreement that Jeff likes that.
Yes. There's going to be 4 classes: your general, warrior, mage, scout, and healer. You're going to be going out on different quests that you have to hit different like little objectives on the cards. Like this example they have on here is the goblin problem. Through various mechanics and encounters, you will be completing these quests and fighting monsters and doing all that kind of fun stuff. It's supposed to be coming out Q3 2018. I am guessing if it's announced Gen Con?
I'm sure it's going to be like TI4 was. Like limited availability in Gen Con or something like that. Or there's going to be something there because especially with Q3, that's prime Gen Con territory.
Indeed.
And they were like releasing their card games, and they did that for Game of Thrones. They did that for Netrunner, a bunch of Netrunner expansions and stuff like that.
They'd always have a release there.
Yeah.
That'll probably be there. They did Legend of the Five Rings last year.
Yes, they did.
So this will probably be this year's like
Game
that
of Thrones
size card box
Mhm.
of our release.
But it does not seem to be a living card game. So
no, yeah, but if it's anything like Warhammer Quest, there will be 8 trillion fucking expansions.
yes, exactly. That is 100% true. Yeah.
It's an infinitely living card game. I don't know.
An eternal card game.
An
How about that?
undead
Eternal.
card game.
Yes.
Next up in news, the paperback prequel
Mm-hmm.
hardback
Prequel.
Pre-
Quill.
Quill, yeah,
Prequel.
prequel.
Get it because it's about writing.
And
less.
it's a hardcover.
I don't get it because I'm not looking at the words. I can't see it spelled. I don't understand that there's a joke.
Okay. So me spelling it out didn't help you at all.
Because normally,
Because I can only read real letters. I can't read through my ears, Zach.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. U.S. school system, man.
who needs to read with their ears when you can architect?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I don't need words for that.
Yeah.
Nope.
He draws with his mind.
Yeah.
Technically,
Yeah.
I draw with my mind through my arm.
Yeah.
Through my mouse into my
Yeah.
computer.
It's like I can use my mind to levitate this.
What?
Yeah.
yeah. My
Okay,
mind.
you guys can't see this, but that phone was levitating right there in Zach's hand.
Yes,
Yeah. Right as I raised it up.
it's
Yeah.
been levitated from the ground.
Yes, it has.
Anyway, Hardback is coming to mobile, which this seems like a game that could do very well on a mobile version.
Oh yeah. I mean, like I've said, deck builders work wonderful on like as a computer program / mobile and stuff like that.
Takes like 80% of the time out.
Exactly. Yes.
No moving cards around no levitating cards around with your hands.
Magically making them shuffle up. Yeah.
Yes.
It's oh god, what was that? Ascension. Like that game took like 5 minutes instead of the hour because everything was just so quick. And I'm definitely looking forward to this one. From what I remember, I liked hardback more than paperback. Have you played either of them?
Yeah, I played them both.
Okay.
I have played neither.
Which one did you prefer?
I think I liked hardback better.
I like that you
There was like more to it.
well, and not just that too, but you always had any wilds that you needed.
Yeah.
Because any card could flip over and now it's a wild. I really like that, whereas with paperback you could get stuck with all consonants and it's just like, oh, this sucks. So I like that they changed that, and I like the genre bonuses and stuff that hardback gave, and so
Yeah, those were super cool.
Yeah. But yeah, it's currently in beta testing, it looked like.
They're definitely looking for beta,
Oh, okay.
I think is what it is.
The actual release date hasn't been announced
Yeah,
yet,
it's just entered beta. That's what it is.
Gotcha. But it's coming to iOS and Android. So look forward to that.
There is a bunch of other apps and app-related things getting moved around with a board game theme. They just announced Carcassone is going to be coming to the Switch.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Which is, I assume, the Xbox 360 version that I played the crap out of
Yeah.
back in the day.
Yeah.
I mean, but I could also see a version that's like on a phone because it's fully touchscreen. So you could just do everything on the actual, tablet itself.
It's probably way easier than using a 360.
Oh,
controller.
100%.
Yeah.
yeah.
Was that one actually licensed by Z-Man, or
Yes.
was it?
Pretty sure it was, yeah.
I thought it was off-brand art.
No,
but,
no,
okay.
no.
Everything I remember was Carcassonne ass
Yeah.
Carcassonne.
Okay.
And I know that they've said that they're going to try and bring more games to the Switch too, which is good.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Good old Asmodee Digital is
Nice.
Pumping them out.
Yeah, pumping it out.
Downside is it's kind of pricey for like
Carcassone, yeah.
yeah, it's like $10 for the iOS app,
Yeah, that's a bit
$15
much.
for the PC version.
And also looks like they're doing a beta test of Quarto for Android or Android and iOS.
Mhm.
Have you played it?
I've never played it.
It's a abstract game where basically you're trying yes, exactly.
You have columns of things.
You have columns of things, and if you get 4 in a row that share something, either like they all are the same height or the same color, or they have like an indentation, or they're circular or square, you win. But what's really cool is that you give your opponent their piece each turn.
Okay.
So I choose what you would play, Jeff, and you would choose what I would play. And so and each of the things, like some things can be short, dark, circular, some things can be tall.
Right, it's got the 4 variables.
It has 4 variables, and like as things get placed, you're like, oh, I can't give you this one or this one, or it was really cool when I played it, and it seems like it would be a good
app version.
Yes.
Yeah, the app version of that would work out pretty
It
easy.
requires 0 levitating.
Yes, yeah. I know that they're currently working on the Santorini app too.
Ooh, nice.
Which I really
That would also be a
look
very
forward
good
to.
one for app. Yeah,
Pay $30 for the app version of that.
I'd pay $30 for the giant app version of it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You can only use on like the Microsoft Surface.
No. It's regular phone sized, but it's giant Santorini, so you're constantly having to zoom out.
Oh, okay, there you go. Yeah. Nice.
Then if you get zoomed out enough, it just looks like regular Santorini.
Yeah. But it's for whatever reason it's the regular sized dudes, so it's like
It's really hard to see. They actually have to walk up the steps.
But yeah, that's some of the app stuff that's coming out.
Yeah, apps are fun.
Yeah, still looking forward to Terraforming Mars when it comes to Steam. Looking forward to that.
Yeah,
Was that announced? Did I miss
Yes.
that? Did you guys talk about that already?
Yes,
Yes.
we did.
Oh,
on at least one occasion.
first mention.
I had to get in there. It was like, this is the only time.
It's only time. Speaking of living card games, also known as dead card games, there is a new
Womp, womp, womp.
there's a new version coming of the dead card game, also known as Android Netrunner.
Yep.
The newest edition of dead card games.
So Fantasy Flight lost it reached the end of their licensing agreement for the Netrunner card game
With Wizards of the Coast or
Yes.
something?
Because it was originally a game from like the 1990s or so
Okay.
that was not in the Android universe. But when Fantasy Flight took it over, they put it in the Android universe, and so
Okay.
and it's been super successful. But they were not able to negotiate with Wizard of the Coast for a continuation of that, and so
I assume Android Netrunner is not making as much money as it used to, and they probably wanted to pay less money, and Wizards of the Coast was like, no.
It might be that, but also Wizards of the Coast has just been trying to get back into games, and maybe they're like, maybe they thought it was cutting
Probably
too
running-
much into Magic or something like that.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of stuff, like a whole bunch of predictions and whatever, like
What
theories
happened
yeah,
here?
exactly. But the final expansion, that deluxe expansion that we were talking about, that had like one of everything,
Hmm.
that's going to be the final thing they release for this game.
Yep.
And then it'll be over with. So I'm curious to see if Wizards of the Coast because it's either, it's cutting into Magic, or they wanted Netrunner to pay more than they were willing, or Fantasy Flight was more, have them pay more than they were willing to do, or for whatever reason they thought they could make more money doing it themselves.
That's what I think it is. I think they're going to keep it going, but just
Well, it
under
can't
their
be-
own label.
It can't be in the Android universe because
True.
that's Fantasy Flight. And I don't think like Fantasy Flight would be like, all right, well, we'll license this out to you.
Yeah.
After you wouldn't license it to
Yeah,
us,
and then
we'll license it to you.
And then we'll rip it away.
Yeah.
I guess it was 98 that the Netrunner
98.
CCG
20 years.
ended.
Yeah, 20 years
Wow.
ago.
Yep.
And it's funny is that they released a like state of living card games report, basically.
State of Living Card Games, dead.
So I'm pretty sure they were not expecting this to happen. So
Yeah, it seemed like it kind of came out of nowhere. And it
Yeah.
seems like it's happening pretty soon,
yes,
right?
yeah, like I said, once that thing gets released, it's
It's
over
like
with.
no more support.
Yep.
Hope you liked getting all those old data packs for those. I guess, weren't they doing like cycling some of the old ones out? Had that happened yet?
They did, yes, yeah.
Okay.
That had been happening. That started happening when I stopped playing, like a year or so ago.
Okay. So it's been a year of kind of like what's the competitive.
A little bit more, yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So, But now someone can own the complete Netrunner, but
And then there will be no resale market.
I can still find like Conquest stuff out there for
Oh.
some ridiculous discount.
yeah.
I still can't find those 2 war packs that I never was able to find because they were like part of the most recent like cycle, but they were the first 2, and they released the last one and then announced it was being discontinued. And then, of course, they didn't reprint the first 2 of those war packs.
Yep.
So now I can't get those 2.
Yep.
Or I would own all of Conquest.
So I guess you'll just have to go to Game of Thrones or
No,
Legend of the Five Rings
no.
or whatever. Are they doing another living card game right now? I don't think so. You could do Star Wars Destiny, their dice version, which apparently added pod racing recently.
Isn't that a collectible
Yes, it is.
game?
Yeah.
No,
A
no.
collectible dice
But
game?
it's a dice game. You said no to collectible card games. It's dice. Dice.
Is it a living dice game?
I mean, it is not currently dead, so yes.
Is it the same thing in every pack that I can just buy that one
No.
and then I
Oh,
have it?
100% no.
No? Then no.
I really like
Arc-
the idea of living dice game.
Mhm.
I want to start a YouTube animated TV show called Living Dice Game, and it's about little animated dice.
Okay.
All right.
You know,
Go for it.
Go ahead. You better trademark that fast.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go live my dream
Before this episode
with all
releases.
of the time that I have.
Yes.
Don't worry. I'll be
Uh,
that first comment that says first.
Arkham Horror LCG.
That's what it was. Yes. Yeah.
Very
That's
good
one
game.
that I wish I have I wish I have spent more money on that, but I have not,
Yeah. Well, we need to
It's really good.
because it was really hard to keep track of what was printing and what wasn't, and everything was hard to find. And
Yeah.
then I fell off, and now I want back on, but everything's out of print now. And that's it for news this week.
Yes, it is.
That means we move on to Kickstarter and various Kickstarter accoutrements.
Mostly that.
Yes. First up in Kickstarter is Neta Tanka. This game is very well funded, $157,000 of its $35,000 goal. 2,400 backers, about 2 weeks left to go, be able to pledge this one, which you can for $52 for the regular edition.
Yep. And then it's 66 for the deluxe edition, which, as we usually say, go for that deluxe.
Unless it's Nog and the Nog, and then I was like,
Yes.
"Oh,
Yeah.
what are you doing?"
Yeah.
So it's a competitive strategy game
Yes, it is. And it's worker placement too.
and a worker placement game. Who does this game?
I think it's a newer company. It's from it's from France.
It's from France, like the Coneheads. As soon as you said it, it's like from
Yeah.
France. We are from France. Their other stuff, Outlive, Clash of Rage, ones I have not seen before.
Okay. But yeah, it looks on this one that basically everyone is going to be placing workers one at a time, and then once all the workers, your nomads have been placed, then you resolve them. But there's like a turn order, or not a turn order, but really like an action resolve timing, because it's like if you want to butcher a buffalo, it's like you have to hunt for the buffalo first and then kill him, and then you can actually take his meat and skin him and get the meat from him.
Is that kind of how Zolkin works on it? Sort of like you put a worker there and then it takes time for it to resolve?
No, for this one, it's more of your different workers have to work together. So it's like one person kills it and then another worker is going to skin it.
Gotcha.
So if you do it in the wrong order, because you get to resolve them in the order you choose, then it's like your guy tries to skin it. Well, the buffalo's not dead yet, so good luck doing that.
Just don't try and kill the buffalo. Just skin the buffalo.
Yeah. I just want.
See how that comes out.
Yeah, I don't want to kill it. I just want its skin.
It's kinder that
and
way.
then I want to release it into the wild.
It's more humane this way.
Yes, it is.
The skin just grows back. It's like a sheep, right?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, isn't that what you do with sheep? You just skin them.
Then you hang it up on the wall, and then then the wool keeps growing. You have to keep shaving the skin off. Then the sheep is still alive out there somewhere.
Somewhere.
But it also looks like there are the resources are not directly available too. When you try and get them, you have to do them with something called a generosity action. So it's like they sort of stay. It looks like they sort of stay on the board until you can actually pull them off, which is all. I always appreciate that, like in Scythe and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Let's see. There's a decent amount of Kickstarter stuff on here.
Fifth,
Like a fifth player is that exclusive to it?
it is not exclusive. It looks like it was a stretch goal that was unlocked.
Oh, okay,
Because there's some that say like Kickstarter and some that say Kickstarter exclusive.
gotcha.
So there's a Kickstarter exclusive first player token and tents and just like extra more cards.
Right, yeah. It does look though it looks like the deluxe pledge is Kickstarter exclusive though.
Because it's the meeples.
Yeah, it adds a bunch of shaped wooden tokens and double layered personal boards, which are always great.
That's definitely a plus.
Yeah.
And then extra storage boxes too.
Ooh.
To hold all your shit.
Yeah, it's got some decent amount of components in here.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
For $14. Yeah.
Yeah, $14.
Totally worth it.
Yeah. But it also looks like if you get extra boxes, you can get delivery is not free if you just get one box, but it looks like if you sort of group them together, depending on where you live, like zone 1, that'll be like US and stuff like that. If you get like 2 games, then it ships for free and stuff like that. So
ship to the same address.
Yeah.
Yes. You live in France, free local pickup.
Ooh. Yep. But then otherwise it's like €6, 10, or even for zone 4, which is like, I'm assuming like, Africa or South America. So it's €25, which like it would mean like that's $30 or something like that, maybe a little bit more.
Yeah.
Which isn't completely unreasonable considering all like it seems like
they have the zones listed here.
Yes, they do.
Read them all, Jeff.
It looks like Southeast Asia is zone 4.
Okay, yeah.
I wanted you to read them.
Yeah.
I like how zone 3, the first one is just island.
Yeah. So if you live on an island,
yep,
you're in zone 3.
Unless that island is the Philippines or Indonesia or Réunion.
Nope.
It looks like zone 1 shipping is actually pretty friendly.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Korea, south.
They don't
you got to be specific.
North
that is happening right now.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Actually, it might be over by now. I don't know. They were only doing it for a couple hours.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, this seems pretty. It seems pretty interesting.
Yeah, there's a bunch of like reviews and stuff up of it on the Kickstarter page. The rules are there. It's got everything that makes you think that this could be a really good game.
Yeah, and it even comes with a double-sided board too that has like different art and difficulties on it too. So you got variability in there as well. So
I like how their meeples are different shaped than usual. There's like
Yes.
buffalo skull, mushroom, and meat shaped.
Yes, I appreciate that too.
Can't find a good skull shaped meeple these days.
They're hard to.
That is a problem.
It's because you gotta kill a meeple person and then you gotta scalp them.
Right, and you got to do it in the right order.
Exactly. Yeah. If you do it wrong, it's just a skinless skull. Now you have basically Ghost Rider walking around. So
See you have to skin them without killing them, and then you set them free.
yeah.
No, you set them on fire.
Yes.
That sets them
and
free.
give them a motorcycle.
Yeah. It keeps them warm for the rest of their life.
All right, that's Neta Tanka. Next up in Kickstarter is Gamebook. Just funded $14,000 of its $12,000 goal, 243 backers, and you can back this one for $49 with about 2 weeks remaining.
So this is an interactive book of board games where it's basically you have a bunch of pieces actually in like the spine of where the book is. Where a book spine would be. There's a bunch of pieces, and then it has a bunch of like thick pages where it's a bunch of abstract games, and you can actually like pull them apart to get to the one you want.
Looks to be like 8 different abstracts in there, 8 or 9.
Yeah. But it looks. I mean, I just like how it looks. I think that's a pretty novel idea of having.
Because it has a magnetic binding, you
Yes.
can take out the pages and put them back for whatever game you feel like playing.
Yes.
Yeah, art direction on this one is top notch.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
100%. And then I find it funny too that if you get 4 copies of the game, then you can put it together and play another game that's based on having all 4 of them together.
Huh.
It's this one right here, the Be Humble one.
Okay. Just get 4 copies.
Yeah.
And you can play a secret 9th game.
Yes. Yeah. But I really do like the magnetic bindings on it, so you can peel off the ones that you want to play or the ones that are hiding and stuff like that. I think it looks really cool. And like I said, it's nice to have all that shit in the spine.
It's not a magnetic binding. It's a magic binding.
I guess, yeah, magic. That's the only way.
Yeah.
The box for game pieces is also the book's backbone that holds the pages together with a simple and very effective magnetic binding.
It says right here, magic binding.
Yeah, well, magnets are magic.
Well, yeah, we knew that.
Yeah, so I'm just saying it's
Because no one knows.
We're confirming each other
Because no one knows how they work.
exactly.
Right,
Yeah. No, I'm just clarifying because it's not like magic that's like that levitation magic we were talking about. It's not that.
Yeah, no, I
magic.
do that with my mind.
Exactly. Yeah.
I know how that works.
But yeah, I think it looks really cool.
Yes, it looks super cool. It's about $50, but
Which is pretty. No, I mean it's
it's not a fantastic price, but
Yeah.
what you're getting here looks to be good quality.
yes.
What's,
Their timetable does say it's supposed to be here by November of 2018.
Mhm.
So if that's true, then that's pretty quick. But we'll see if that actually happens or not.
We will indeed,
But yeah, I like it.
and that's Gamebook.
Yes, it is.
Next up on Kickstarter is
Not-
not Gamebook, but the board game book.
Completely different thing.
Completely different
Completely
thing.
different.
Not quite funded yet. 11,000 of its $20,000 goal, 284 backers, but 3 weeks left still to pledge this one, where you can get a physical and a PDF for $27.
Yeah. So this is called the Board Game Book 2019.
Do they have previous years?
I do not know, but I do know that this one is all about. So it says Board Game Book 2019, but it's about the best games of 2018. And it talks about some of the greatest games of 2018, and it also has like little write-ups that people did about the game. A lot of like really good photography, and it also has like interviews with the designers of said games. Oh, nice, that's cool. Apparently it's featuring a foreword by the Ian Livingstone,
Co-founder of Games Workshop.
Yes.
Oh, God, that's right. I was like, why does that name sound so familiar? Zach keeps saying it wrong, but I
Yes.
feel it's so familiar.
Yeah, it's just it's a book about game design and all these new games, all these cool games with the designers and stuff like that, with really good art. And you have Eric Lang, Matt Leacock, you've got Jonathan Gilmore from Dinosaur Island, Michael Kiesling from Azul, a whole bunch of people. Jacob Jaskov for Fog of Love, which was a really fun game and a really interesting game. You got Nikki
Yeah.
Valens for Legacy of Dragonholt. So yeah,
Dragonholt.
Yeah. The pictures look really nice too, and it's just it's a book about games, and that's always
Seems like a nice coffee table book.
yes, I would agree with that. Yeah,
I like that they're doing it as a 2019 edition. I'm curious if
Yep.
they fund well enough that they can then do it again next year
Yeah.
and the year after, and it becomes a yearly thing.
yeah. Well, and it's nice now because you can get this, and then if you have a friend that's like, oh man, I just got into board games, what should I get? You just throw the book at them, and you're like, fucking read up, and then
You got
you're
some
like,
homework.
You got
bitch.
homework to do. There's gonna be a quiz.
But it has a lot of all the game list. There's a 20-page preview on here, and it has a lot of the game listings. We'll mostly have like how many players it plays, how long it plays, what's the price, and then like a blurb about the game and things
Right.
like that, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Fog of Love. I want to read about Fog of Love
Mhm.
later. So that's the board game book,
Not
Not to
Not-
be confused.
the game book, which leads us on to Folded Space 2, Campaign 2.
Electric Boogaloo. Yes.
The folding.
Yeah.
This one is well funded, 42,000 of its $20,000 goal. About 950 backers. 3 weeks left to pledge this one, which you can for every amount of money possible.
This is board game inserts. I don't know if Jeff actually said that or not.
No,
Before we
that's your
interrupted him.
your
Yes.
job.
That's my
That's
job.
Adrian's job.
Oh, okay.
So now that's your job.
Okay.
Oh, I thought you were pointing at me.
How did you think?
How would I know?
Yeah. You were clearly looking at your phone and his. I am not near you at all, Wes. But yeah, this is. I remember. I don't know if we talked about their first campaign at all.
I think you
Yes,
did. Yes.
yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this is their second one, and it's basically like budget inserts because it looks to be mainly done with foam core, which a lot of people will make homemade foam core inserts. But I've tried doing that, and it is annoying.
I'm just gonna say from experience, you need a rabbiter.
Yeah.
What is a rabbiter?
It's a little razor blade holder that lets you cut them in like super precise ways, and you can cut at angles so that they miter together real nice.
Okay, that sounds nice.
Now he's actually lying. It's just you take a rabbit and you're like, cut here, and it chomps at it because foam core has the same consistency as carrots, and so they don't know.
Just saying, from years in design school, building models out of foam core, you find the most efficient ways to cut it.
Oh, I'm sure. Yes.
All right.
Yeah. But yeah, it's, inserts are always nice for games. And the broken tokens and Meeple Realty and Daedalus, those are nice, but those are super expensive.
Can you get a €10 Feast for Odin insert from one of them?
No,
I don't think so.
I believe it's closer to $40 or $50.
Yeah, indeed it is.
Yes.
Because I got a Gloomhaven and a Feast for Odin with free shipping for about $100.
Well, the most expensive one for this one is Kingdom Death Monster, which is just €30.
Yeah.
Is that euros?
Yeah, I think so. Or
No,
is
that's
that pounds?
That's
30
pounds. Yes,
30 pounds.
Yeah, 30 pounds. Damn it, Jeff.
Whatever.
Well, yeah, it's. I mean, they look pretty nice. Right
That would
right
be
now,
nice.
it looks like it's just. Is it just gray for the insert types, or do they have different colors?
I haven't noticed any color options.
Yeah, they all look gray.
Okay, but yeah, it's basically people making foam core inserts for you.
Mass producing.
Yeah, which, like I said, I tried to do one. I just gave up on it because I was like, oh, this is annoying.
This is over.
Yeah.
That Kingdom Death Monster one could be pretty useful.
Yeah.
I know what I might get CJ for Birthmas, I guess.
Is he born near Christmas or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Early December.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. And we actually did get a BGG comment about this one.
Oh.
Breaking in early.
Yeah.
Well, because we're talking about it right now, might as well. Bryant says, hello, I've been tempted to acquire an insert or two, but never have really been able to justify the cost of them. However, I've recently been looking at Folded Space, who are currently on Kickstarter. The prices seem fair. Do any of you have any experience with their inserts?
No.
No, we do not. But I know about foam core inserts because I try to make some, and some of our friends have made them too, and they are nice when well made. And it seems these guys, like, people weren't complaining enough the first time apparently that they felt okay doing it a second time. So that's got to say something, right?
But even putting in the labor yourself, materials is going to be $10.
Yeah, exactly.
So the fact that they could mass produce at cost and still ship it at a price that you could build it yourself and it will look way nicer than you can do it yourself at home.
Yeah.
Definitely go for it.
And then also, right now they just unlocked a stretch goal to get a free die, a free Folded Space special edition die in every insert.
Free die, you say?
Mm.
Yeah, you want to spend $20 to get that free die?
Maybe.
But then also they have an upcoming stretch goal of it's a sheet of tray name stickers in every insert, which would be really cool.
Yeah, since it's just gray normally.
Yes, so it can give you some more information on them. But like I said, they seem to be well made. And it's £25 for the Star Wars Rebellion one. $25 for the Rising Sun one. That's pretty nice. That's a lot better than fucking Broken Tokens. At least 60, if not 90, for the Kickstarter stuff. So, if you want an insert, but you don't have the money to spend on the wood, these seem like a good.
These are a solid option.
Yeah, these are a solid option.
And they are really light shipping. So
yes, because it's foam core.
It's foam core.
They're shipping foam.
Indeed.
I'm pretty sure they could just pack it with more foam core and then it's secure.
No, you need packing peanuts just for diversity.
Indeed.
Oh, okay.
And that's it for Folded Space, which leads us to the last Kickstarter, which is the Ultimate Board Game Backpack, which is extremely well funded. 435,000 of its $50,000 goal, 2,800 backers, and just a little under a month for you to pledge for this board game backpack, which I believe is currently at an early bird sale of $149, but after that, there's another early bird one that you can do for $169, and then its base price will be $179. Should note, this is their whoever company this is their first Kickstarter.
Right. So, and it seems to be very popular. So
yes,
you always got to be a little bit of like, I don't know, but I mean, from what they are showing, it looks pretty nice. Now, obviously, as Jeff was saying, like, this isn't cheap like the Folded Space. Like, this is pretty expensive for a backpack, but it definitely seems like they're going all out to to help you accessorize for your board games, because this shit can hold Gloomhaven and other things too.
And more.
Yeah. The really cool thing is the main compartment like expands like twice the size, so you can hold a lot. So if you're not holding any games, it compacts pretty well. But when you want to bring a lot of games with you, it folds out and it looks like according to the little gifts that they have, that it holds like it can hold a lot of games.
Yeah, they have multiple examples in here. This example with Gloomhaven Plus, Rebellion, and then the very equally popular games of Sushi Go and Cards Against Humanity, all fitting into the same backpack.
Yeah.
It's got tons of little pouches and stuff. You can keep dice and snacks.
You got
tons of cool little hidden compartments.
Yes, yeah.
They talk about keeping your sunglasses in here in multiple different spots.
Yes, they do.
They also have all carry-on sizes for different airlines listed in the Kickstarter.
Yeah. And it's waterproof zippers. There's pads everywhere to help support your back. More sunglasses storage, reinforced seams. You can also bring your laptop with you and all that stuff. It seems like if you really want a bag to hold everything, this is one of those bags.
Does it hold your sunglasses? Because that's what I need. That's what I'm looking for.
I don't see anything.
Right here holds your sunglasses.
I see I see that it holds your sun and glasses, but
I'm sure you could put a small child in this.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I was thinking of my star.
No.
Like the sun.
Yeah.
They also have extra gear. They have dice trays, dice cases, elastic box bands, which are cool.
Ooh, they have like a beer holder, koozie pocket.
See, all kinds of hidden pockets.
Yeah.
Laptop pocket.
I can see why people would pay $150.
Yeah, and it has
more.
Yeah, and when you expand the main compartment out, it does have an extra thing that folds down to help with the carrying strength and stuff like that, to help distribute that weight too. So it looks, like I said, it looks really. If you want to go all out, this thing looks like, assuming that it would actually do all the things that it says it does.
It seems like these are all real.
Yes.
Physical objects that they have at least made.
I mean,
assuming it fulfills and they are able to ship and it doesn't crash and burn.
This doesn't look like 3D models of people.
Yeah, no.
They have real backpacks that they have made, and then all of these examples are physically in pictures being used.
Which is good, yeah.
They have a real prototype.
Yep, more about that sunglasses holder.
Man, I wish I had a thing that held my sunglasses. If only someone on Kickstarter was selling an overpriced sunglasses holder that might also hold some games.
There's a GIF of a guy taking the sunglasses out and putting them on.
The only thing it's missing is deal with it.
Yeah, I know, right? But yeah,
they have referenced in their risks and challenges that it is their first Kickstarter, but they are collaborating with Stat Gear, who has helped run over a dozen other successful Kickstarter campaigns.
It's a good sign.
Yeah, and they have delivered on time for all of their stuff. So this is
and it's like the stretch goals are like different colors, which isn't, that's a reasonable thing to do.
Is one of the stretch goals that it can hold your sunglasses?
No, but they do have
didn't even need a stretch goal.
No, you didn't, but they do have securing loop for keys pocket. So
Ooh.
Yeah.
And they have like a bunch of like custom elastic bands to put on your
and
boxes.
then they're gonna try to do straps for like play mats and stuff like that. So yeah, like I said, this is like your all-in-one.
Yeah, literally everything.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Except for a sunglasses holder.
Too bad I can't afford this. That would be cool.
Yes, it would.
Someday.
And
that's it for Kickstarters.
The rainbow.
The Kickstarters are over.
Forever.
Until next week.
Yep. So, with that, moving on to emails. Do we have any emails, Jeff?
Emails at milehighgameguys.com if you would like to send us an email, which no one did.
I was going to.
But you're here.
Because I knew Adrian wasn't going to be here.
I mean, I did tell
so.
people, I was like, look, if you want to say anything that Adrian cannot respond to, that if you just want to get that on the record without any sort of
repercussions, immediate repercussions.
Yes. Yeah. Now's your chance.
I think I've done a pretty good job of that already.
Yes.
So no emails.
No emails.
We can always read one of the really old emails.
Do it.
Adrian's not here to tell us no, so fuck it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it live to tape.
Do you remember?
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Yeah.
So emails from 6 months ago.
Yes. At gmail.com.
Indeed. This one's from Patrick, friend of the show, titled Lisboa Contest.
If you guys remember that we did that at some point.
Indeed.
About 6 months ago, I think.
Yes.
I wrote into my favorite podcast talking about one of my favorite games. The next week, some know-it-all troll who I'm sure looks like the comic book guy sitting in a computer tapping away on his father fingers. I don't understand that. Father fingers? Fat fingers?
It might be fat fingers.
Fat fingers. Wrote about me and made fun of me, and I cried. Patrick.
That is a disaster.
That was very much a disaster.
I'm gonna guess that it was Andrew that said something.
Probably.
Yeah.
I bet it was.
I know it wasn't one of us because we're not know-it-alls.
And then that wasn't last week.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Indeed.
It was at least a couple weeks ago. At least. Maybe more. But yeah, we haven't forgotten about those.
Yep, they exist.
Yeah.
There's a whole folder full of them.
Yeah.
There's not many left, technically, but I was able to read an email
There you go.
at milehighgameguys.com.
You feel better now?
Yes.
I'm happy for you, Jeff.
Thank you.
We did have one Board Game Geek response for our Pioneer Days episode on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
This is from Aaron from AA Ron.
Yes.
He does.
Some guy was like calling out someone's name for like food and called out AA Ron.
Nice. Nice.
I was like, yes.
Nice.
AA Ron? AA Ron.
Yeah.
And he's like, Aaron? It says AA Ron.
Yeah. Timothy presents. All right. So Aaron says, I'm not exactly sure why, but this game's release was delayed by several months. Originally, it was slated for January, but didn't hit the shelves around until late April/early May. Anyways, I've played it a couple times so far, and I really like it. The large number of townfolk will help with replayability. I just wish there was a variety of colors for the score markers instead of various shades of brown.
It's almost like we said those exact same things.
Yes, we did. AA Ron. He signed it as AA Ron.
Indeed,
so.
he did.
But yeah, definitely agreed with that. I liked the different townsfolk and the fact that how you doing the different decks meant that you were sort of playing differently, and that you're only using 9 of the 22 town help cards. Like you definitely had some variability in there, which was nice. But like we said, it was like, I don't know if I remember we basically were like, well, this one looks like pee, this one looks like crap, this one looks like blood. And it was just like, it was just all things you would lose out on the trail.
Yeah. These are the reasons you died.
Yeah, pretty much.
These are the colors of the things that killed you.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it for our Board Game Geek responses.
Board Game Geek Guild. 2731.
There it is, 2731.
Ooh, I was about to jump in with it, and I was going to be off by 1 digit, so I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah.
Yes. I've rescued you.
We are guild number 2731 if you would like to join our guild and harass us about things that we get wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Or ask us like Bryant did. If you're curious about something, put it on there, and then we can probably talk about it on the show.
Indeed. Or ask about like Slack.
Yes.
Which someone did, and they were like, here's Slack.
Yeah.
Don't have to be a Patreon to be on Slack.
No, you do not.
But you get a fancy channel if you do.
Yes. But yeah, you should totally join our Slack. Wesley happens to be, unfortunately, is in it. So
yeah.
Had to change your story there real quick.
I'm really the only reason to join.
Yes.
There can only be one.
No, except there is another Wes in there.
There is another Wes now.
So,
but there can only be one.
No, there can only be
one.
Well,
you have to find him and kill him. Clearly.
Yeah.
Cut his fucking head off, and then lightning shoots out.
No, yeah, there can only be one Zach, Jeff, or Adrian. Other than that, it's just free game. So, yeah. But check out the description for this episode if you want to join. It should be on there, and it should be the correct one. If not, let me know.
Because Adrian's not in charge, so it's going to get out correctly.
Yes, very true. That pretty much wraps it up, right?
There's plenty more things to do.
What else we got to do?
We have a new Patreon.
Oh, that's right. We have a new patron.
Patreon.com/milehighgameguys. We have a new Patreon.
We have a new patron.
Patron? Yeah. No, I fucked that up just like Adrian does.
Yeah.
Adam, who is giving us $5 a month.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Adam.
Yes.
I cleared straight past the Jeff makes fun of you level.
Mm-hmm. Zach told me we had a new Patreon. I was like, oh, $5.
No, I have to be nice.
Yeah. Has Adam interacted with us in any way, shape, or form?
Let me see. I mean, not that I know of. But...
Okay. He may have sent us an email in the Lisboa giveaway that we never read.
I'll show you guys by giving you money.
I'll show you nerds.
Nerds.
But yeah, you should definitely get in on our Slack. You can get into that nice Patreon channel where you can see us
Talk about weird shit.
Weirder shit than general.
Yeah, because the rest of this lag is pretty weird too.
Yeah. Occasionally, if I'm bored during the actual recording, I'll be like, "Hey guys, how's it going?"
Gonna live Slack the recording.
Yeah. But yeah, if you want to be like Adam and be cool, go to patreon.com/smilehighgameguys and give us something. We really appreciate it.
Indeed.
Let's see. Anything else?
We have to talk about a game from our sponsor.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, this episode's sponsored by Gray Fox Games, and we're gonna sort of dip our toe back into something we talked about earlier. It's gonna be Champions of Midgard, but specifically the expansions. But yeah, the 2 expansions for Champions of Midgard, Valhalla and the Dark Mountains, because the base game is good, but you really want those expansions,
which turns it to great.
Yeah. Have you played it at all, Wes?
I have not.
All right. So
have you played Lords of Waterdeep?
Yes.
All right. Now this is a better game.
Yeah.
Continue, Zach.
Yes. I mean, he's just throwing the facts out there. So it's a dice-based game, but when you're fighting against enemies, if you roll badly, your guys can die in the base game, and then you're just sort of fucked. But in the expansion, Valhalla, you get these tokens because they actually go to Valhalla, and so you can actually use those tokens to buy shit.
Thematic.
Yes. And yeah, you could. They thematically turn into tokens.
I mean, thematic that they go to Valhalla and you can keep using them.
Yes. So it means like there are sometimes when you want guys to die, and so it adds a new strategic element that is definitely makes that game a lot better, and it made it tolerable for Adrian. So that's saying something.
Yes.
Yeah, because as soon as you said it's a dice-based game, I was on board.
Yeah, I know, right? And then the Dark Mountains expansion adds another place for you to go out to get archers, and archers are really good for hunting, for food and stuff like that. And it's
new monsters and it's new ventures,
adventures and stuff you go on. They are a lot of fun.
Yes,
nice,
and you should definitely check them out,
as well as the base game.
Yes,
Champions of Midgard.
Yes,
indeed.
That is Gray Fox Games. Do you have a prepared statement, Jeff?
Gray Fox Games, quality games cleverly crafted. Also, a strong man doesn't need to read the future; he makes his own.
Yeah, he does. Just gotta let that sit. I gotta put like 20 seconds of silence in there so everybody can just really absorb
the
49
words.
minutes of silence.
Yes, yeah.
At the end of the
that's
episode.
At the end. That's a different silence. That's so people can contemplate everything that they've heard. You gotta digest it. It's just
digest the whole episode.
Yeah.
Over 50% of the length of the episode in silence.
So yeah, that's pretty much it. If you want to contact us, we're on a whole bunch of different things.
Emails at milehighgameguys.com.
If you want to throw us some emails, and that's a Board Game Geek Guild 2731. If you can contact us on there. We have our Facebook and Instagram, whatever Adrian says, Mile High Game Guys. You can contact Adrian on Twitter at MHGameGuys.
Indeed.
And I am at Zach_MHGG.
And I am Jeff_MHGG.
And Wes, do you have a Twitter that you would like to out there?
To misspell for all of us?
Yes.
Yeah. I tweet under at Pathetic Lifeform.
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 Yep. There you go.
No redundant Fs. You can't have redundant Fs.
No, you cannot.
It's Twitter. Got to cut those
character limits.
Yeah. Even though they expanded it to 280 characters, it's
and even those didn't really apply to handles.
Yes, that's very true.
I'll fill that sucker right up.
Yep. Am I missing anything, Jeff?
We're going to talk about stuff Friday.
Yes, we are talking about, well, really, we're ruining the net because we're finally getting back to time stories.
Indeed. Hard.
Or time joke. I couldn't think of one.
It's like we time traveled and then there was no time in between the time stories. It's just we were literally time traveling. This is like nothing to us.
No, there definitely wasn't 2 years between when we played the first two and then this one.
The magic of radio.
Yes.
Actually, it was 2 years since we played
this one.
This third one.
Yes. And
then 2 years where we played it again.
Yes.
And then now have a recording
it. But Megan is coming back because she was on those two, and
you'll
get to hear her in better audio than you did the last 2 times.
Indeed.
So look out for that on Friday.
And Wes will not be joining us for that.
No, he will not.
Even though I have played this.
But Adrian will be joining us for
better than
that.
they did.
Yeah, Adrian will. We recorded that early, so if you want to comment on the Board Game Geek thread, it doesn't matter if you do it when you hear this because it will already be too late.
So why bother?
Yeah, so why about it? But you can put something on there and we'll talk about it in another episode. But next week, we have episode 100.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
So many things planned. It's going to be so meticulous. Adrian has so much stuff ready for it. That
How many things?
It's at least
100 things.
No, it is.
Oh, well, then I'm not interested.
I know it's 200 things.
You got me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, we'll be doing something for that. So
Indeed. On that next episode.
Yeah.
That is episode 200.
100.
100. Episode 100. 2 years.
Yes,
2
2
years.
years.
We did not do 200 episodes a year
No,
before.
before,
Right.
but now it's basically. I mean, it'd basically be 200 episodes.
Yes. Yeah.
Because really, we do 100 episodes a year, if not more. But
Except you didn't for the first year.
yeah,
Hence,
most
podcast.
podcast.
Yep. We got to get that on business cards.
Yes, we
You
do.
do, yeah.
Just board gaming's
Most
number
podcasts.
one most podcast.
Congressionally recognized.
Yes.
Right.
Most podcasts.
Yep. But yeah, this thing's getting awfully close to 2 hours, so I feel we should
End this.
end this when we get a chance.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks again for listening. For now, not always. There's no Adrian, but I'm Zach.
And I'm Hacker Jeff.
And I'm just Wes.
Thank you for being with us.
Thank
Wes.
you for living through this.
Enduring
Yes.
Yeah.
this.
Thanks
with
for
us.
having me back, guys.
Android Netrunner had to kill themselves
Yes.
to knowing we were talking about them
Yep.
in an episode this long.
Bye.
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 Just dying over there.
Yeah. I've been holding it in for ever since I accidentally did it while he was talking. I was like, gonna wait. And then I'm gonna cough.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, I can't do it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
The hard part is I have to write cough cut, and then it just makes it longer.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Punchboard Media,
where we all
bring something
to the table.
pull up a chair
At punchboardmedia.com.